Okay, now I'm gonna go over the basics of how to use your hands. This is a question that I often get, or sometimes don't get often enough, but it's definitely something that I want to address because there are some very different ways to use our hands when working the horse's shoulders and working body control, and I want to explain a little bit the whys of having the hands sometimes down here, why sometimes up here, and why sometimes one here or here, and they are so very different effects in how it affects the horse and how they feel and how they respond to where my hand position is. And so I'm going to go through the different positions and try to explain the reason why I would put my hand in that position. So first of all, the most basic position is going to be my hand going towards the cantle of my saddle. This is when I have a snaffle in the mouth or a short shank bit on a really young horse. This is where I'm going to introduce my horse to flexions. I'm going to open my hand with an extended arm, and this is because I feel like it's a very good 90-degree angle between my horse's head and my rein, and so I feel like this is the most symmetrical position for my hand to be for my horse to respond to it properly. If I have a snaffle or a short shank bit and my horse is very green and doesn't know how to perform a flexion, and I do it here, well, at first it's not going to know what to do. This is the most obvious and effective way for me to teach my horse how to follow their nose and give me a flexion. And then I'm going to transition that to working my horse more here, right above the shoulders. This is going to be pretty much the place that I like to be at the most and that I find the most effective, okay? I don't want to have this hand too much open because I want to have my hands right above each feet, right above each shoulder. This is what's telling me that my horse is between my hands and the shoulders are between my hands. And so if I move my hand here, then I want my horse to be stepping there, okay? If I have my hands here, then I want my horse to be stepping there. Okay, so wherever this hand is and pointing to, this is where that leg is supposed to go. So this is definitely why I'm going to use my hand and have my starting point right here. And then when I'm going to be one-handed, my hand is going to be right above the shoulders and control this rein and this rein the same as if I was two-handed here. So in order to be, the horse may not know what to do with a contact right above the shoulder here. So again, we're going to start down here and then we're going to go right up here, right in front of my pocket, and this is where I'm going to keep this hand and teach them how to follow their nose and lift their shoulders with my hand right in front of my pocket. If I feel that I have some problem, I'm going to go back to the basics and go back here, and then I'll move back to here, okay, and slowly transition to having my hand here, and then this is where when I have a short shank bit or I start to work my horse in the bit and I can use my hand up here, this is where I feel that is going to be the best and most effective way to control where the feet are going and to lift the shoulders, because logically I have both hands right above the shoulders. Okay, and by now I have a horse that is relaxed enough in its neck and keeping that energy enough in his body that his head position is giving me a very decent angle in my bridle in order for me to have a clean and effective leverage action into my bridle so that I don't have to be pulling too hard, okay? So this is where I'm going to want my hands. But if my horse is pushing on me, and you may have a horse that is just really heavy in the mouth and really pushy, well, you might need to lower your hand and bring them here so that you are stronger. Okay, here you can bring your hands and lock them in right here and just wait it out, okay, and let your horse just sort of push against himself until finally you meet, your horse finds a comfortable place to be and relax his neck. Then you release your hands and you go back and working here. And as you need, you can bring your hands right here. If you've seen my video, my prior video on the collection, it's a young horse at about 8 weeks training that I'm introducing to going forward in the bridle and introducing to collection. So I'm going to use my hands right here, but not too long ago with that horse, I was doing the same exercise, but right here, okay? So I'm starting to work him with my hands a little bit more closed in and a little bit more at the width of each shoulders, okay? But always keeping my hands on each side of the shoulders. And then when that works good, then I'm going to start using my hands a little bit more up here.